Diabetes, this chronic non-communicable disease, has reached epidemic levels across the US, South America, and the Middle East. By 2025, it's projected to affect over 300 million people worldwide. And here in Barbados, 1 in 5 people is already diabetic, a significant increase in just over a year. And it's costing the country up to $26 million annually. But what's causing this increase? Well, studies show that frequent consumption of high-caloric foods, such as fast food, and lack of exercise are partly to blame. The majority of college students interviewed admitted to knowing there's a relationship between food and health, yet many of them failed to make choices that were redound to their benefit.
Cornflakes, I love my cornflakes. I love Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Captain Crunch.
I would have something like maybe like typical Belgian lunch, like macaroni pie, baked chicken with a salad,
pizza, chicken or chips, sometimes rice and chicken.
For lunch, I wouldn't. Some I eat fast food, so probably chips, pie, chicken.
But why? It appears that the need for convenience outweighs the need to be healthy. Salman agrees, and she shares that many of her patients that opt for convenience over health are putting themselves at risk for diabetes.
Foods that are high in fat contributes to diabetes because what is happening, the cell has receptor sites. Those receptor sites become blocked with fat. When the receptor sites are blocked with fat, the insulin cannot help the glucose to come into the cell to do the work it's supposed to do. So then the glucose stays in the bloodstream and you develop hyperglycemia. Foods that are harmful for your body would be consuming simple carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are juices, sodas, sugary foods like rock cakes and jam puff and those pastry type foods, white bread, white flour, white rice. Those type of foods go into your body at a fast rate and it will cause your blood sugars to go high.
She added that diabetics have a higher risk of complications like slow healing sores, loss of vision, and amputations. So what does a life with diabetes look like? It's something that veteran journalist Rosemary Allen knows only too well. She takes a cocktail of medications, and after almost 25 years of being diabetic, she shares her experience with the disease.
In 1984, when my first pregnancy, the baby was 10 pounds. No, I wasn't told then anything about gestational diabetes, but the family history was there. I had my mother was a diabetic and my grandfather was a diabetic as well. Then the second pregnancy in 96, that is when I was actually told that I had gestational diabetes. And I knew a little bit more about the condition then because I understood that once I had this baby, the diabetes would go away, but it would come back. And because of the family history, I always started checking after that. So it was after that 1996 pregnancy, somewhere in those 90s, when I went for a routine examination at the doctor, and when he tested my blood sugar, yes. He said, well, yes, you are diabetic.
But how do we prevent diabetes? Well, Salman gives her advice of small changes that we can make to combat it.
Get off the couch and start walking, start engaging in more physical activity. An example would be if it is that you had to go to the supermarket, rather than parking the car close, you park the car far. If you're coming out and rather than getting a push out, you use the bags as weights, those be like weights, and you lift those out.
She also recommends getting more complex carbs into your diet. These include fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. It goes to show that small changes can make a life-changing difference. This is Leah Howell for GED News signing off.